What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another vlog today, and today we're going to be exploring the J line. It's one of the few lines on the metro system that's not a train. It's a bus along with the G line Orange, formerly known as the Orange line. I will do that soon. Today we're going to be exploring the J line. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, fun little fact, the El Monte station was originally El Monte Bus Depot. Now, opened up back in 1973 when it was under operation under Southern California Rapid Transit District, or RTD, before Metro was founded. This is where most of the lines served back in the 1970s. So you can see right here, if you do plan to park, this is where you pay a $2 daily to be able to park. And honestly, that's actually a pretty good price because some other parking places on the Metro are way more expensive. So at least $2 for a day is not too bad. It's actually a pretty good deal. This roadway right here leads to the maintenance facility. So this is where all the buses go when they go in or out of service. And right there, that's of course the apartment complex. So right over here, this is where the entrance is at, the main entrance. You see where these little clocks are at? This is where El Monte station's at. Just giving you guys a little tour before we board the bus. Right over there, that's the bike hub. On the other side, that's actually the customer service. And right over there, this is where it leads to the bus platform. Right over here, this is where you take the elevator, but obviously I don't have a scooter or bike, so we're gonna take the escalator. And right over here, this is the real-time arrival display. It tells you what agency it serves and when it's gonna arrive, so at least you know some information at a glance. Right here, this is the 577 express buses that runs during rush hour, Monday through Friday. So it takes you down to Long Beach. They're playing classical music because apparently it's supposed to deter homeless people from camping out here. But I don't know if that really works, honestly. Now it's time to go up to the upper level to show you guys what it's like on the upper level of the El Monte busway station. We're at the upper level of El Monte station. You can see there's a bus coming, which we gotta take. You can see right over there, the bus is just taking a break over there before it makes its next trip. So right over here on upper level, the J line as well as the Foothill Silver Streak line serves here. This bay here, this is where the Foothill Silver Streak serves. So if you want to go to Montclair or downtown LA, then you can use both lines. But if you want to go further into the valley, like the San Gabriel Valley for example, then you do need to take the Silver Streak to get there. Alrighty, we're finally on board the J line bus to downtown LA. It's going to be a short trip, so I'm going to get off at the Union Station Bus Plaza. So I'm going to show you guys what it's like to ride the J line Silver Line bus. My microphone because it's really loud and noisy. Because we're along the freeway, it makes a lot of noise, and let me tell you, it's a really bumpy ride. I mean, because Metro uses older buses in their fleet for the J line, their age is definitely showing, so don't be surprised that panels are making a lot of noise. They're creaking, they're squeaking, so Alrighty, we finally made it to Union Station. And right here, we're actually in the middle of the highway. This is actually Union Station Bus Tourist Plaza. This opened up in 2020 because it's supposed to be an easier way to connect two buses, such as the Foothill Silver Streak and the J Line, of course. Right there, that's security actually. Obviously you can't go down there, but obviously homeless people have used this emergency exit right here. So yeah. So now we're gonna go ahead and cross the bridge, which is the overpass that takes you to the transit plaza, which connects to all lines such as the A line, the B line, and the D line. So let's go ahead and cross it. It's funny how they built the station 6 years ago and already it's starting to look like in poor condition. Like already there's a lot of trash, there's a lot of graffiti and stuff, and it doesn't smell good either. So this is why the metro can't have anything nice. So the J Line Silver runs between Los Angeles and San Pedro. Remember, there's two lines. There's the 910 and the 950. The 910 only takes you to Harbor Gateway Transit Center. The 950 takes you to San Pedro. So make sure you get on the right run, because one time I took the Silver Line or J Line and I ended up going on the wrong one, and it didn't take me all the way to San Pedro. So if you take the J Line, make sure you take the right route, because if you want to go further to San Pedro, then make sure you take the 950. Otherwise, if you take the 910, it's not going to take you all the way to San Pedro. So keep that in mind before you travel. Like in my A-Line video, I discussed the downsides, so let's do the same thing for the J-Line. The downsides of the J-Line is that because buses have limited capacity, they don't really hold a lot of people, especially during rush hours, so it could get really crowded very easily. Number two, because it's a bumpy ride in some parts of the 10 and the 110 freeway, so because Metro uses some of its older buses in the fleet, don't be surprised you're going to be hearing a lot of noise along the freeway, especially in bumpy parts of the 10 and the 110 freeways, so keep that in mind. And the third and final downside of the J Line is that sometimes there could be traffic or an accident that could cause a lot of delays. But really, I don't have nothing too bad to say about the J Line, so I mean, I know it's a bus, but overall, it does have its use. So now, if you get to downtown LA or in some parts of San Pedro, if you take the 950, of course, it does have to make bus stops just like a regular bus. So that can take a while. It really depends on traffic, of course. Okay, so now come along with me. We're going to go to the Harbor Transit Gateway section of the J Line. So you're going to come along with me, and I'm going to explore some of the stations along the Harbor Gateway Transit Corridor. So let's go ahead and get down there. Transit Gateway Corridor. The station stop we're at is actually Slauson Station. They did install these glass barriers right here because, as you could tell, there's a lot of highway noise. So, yeah, it's really loud. Now, the Harper Gateway Transit Corridor opened up in 1995, so pretty much it's pretty old infrastructure. Now, it is quite old infrastructure, and you could tell from the stairs, everything, it's all old. But you could tell right here, this is kind of like a train station, but except of course it's for buses because it's centered along the freeway. Just like the C line, it's just like a train station. So buses pretty much just come by here and stop instead of having to actually exit the freeway, which is actually pretty neat. So that way they don't have to completely get on or off the freeways. Now, because these stations are located in South Central LA, don't expect it to be the nicest or the cleanest. You could tell from all the liquor, all the needles, all the graffiti right here on this pedestrian bridge. And you can see there's a bottle of liquor. Somebody has definitely been drinking. You could tell it's all tagged up. I mean, what do you expect? This is freaking South Central, so of course there's gonna be taggers here. You could see on the other side of the pedestrian bridge right here, as we look across over under the pedestrian bridge, you could tell all the noisy traffic along the 110 freeway. This road is dedicated for the buses, so definitely it's a dedicated transit way because it shares the fast track with cars. Sometimes cars and buses mix. Now, my warning to you guys, if you really don't like loud environments, then definitely this place is definitely not the right place for you. I mean, I would strongly suggest that you wear some earplugs or AirPods like I'm doing, because that could definitely get quite annoying if you stand here for long periods of time, because prolonged exposure to this type of loud environment did definitely affect your hearing. And to show you guys how loud it is, I'm actually going to use real-time audio of how loud this station is. Now, to enter and exit the station, there's actually one or two ways to get out. So you have to either go through each side using the stairs or elevator. But honestly, I don't like using the elevators in these types of areas because they usually are stinky as hell. But you could see there's stairs that lead you to the street level section of Slauson Avenue. And you could catch the 108 bus or the LADOT dash buses down to South Central and nearby neighborhoods. As you can see, there's the tap card vending machine, so you could purchase a tap card before you board the bus. Of course, you could pay with cash, but personally, tap cards are much quicker to use, so that way it speeds up the boarding process. So before you board, this is where you would buy your tap card, load your fare, and get on your way and board the bus. The Slauson station serves metro routes 108, and if you go down to Figueroa Street, the route 81, Broadway, which serves the 45, and also the LADOT dash routes for Vermont, Maine, and Southeast. The Southeast, it could take you down to Vernon Station, which is the A-line station, and the Vermont, Maine route, which takes you down to South Central and nearby neighborhoods of this area. I missed it. Thank God there's another bus coming in 10 minutes, so I don't have to wait too long here because it is definitely loud. But yeah, standing on these stations, especially like the C line, as well as parts of the A line that run along the 210 freeway, definitely isn't pleasant because it's super noisy. So I would recommend you put earplugs or earbuds or AirPods just to protect your hearing, because this type of environment is definitely not good for you. the Harbor Freeway station. Because there's a lot of road noise, I have to use my microphone once again. But you can see this is the entrance where you can connect to the C line, which takes you to the LAX Metro Transit Center, which I will show in the future video. You can see the elevator's not in service. So you can see we're here at this entrance. Harbor Freeway Station opened up in 1995 when the Metro C line, formerly known as the Green Line, opened. It was a rail line that served between Norwalk and Redondo Beach. The C line is a connection that you can make by taking an escalator or an elevator to get up to the platform. So pretty much you can catch the C line train to any direction, such as Norwalk or LAX Transit Center. But if you want to go to Redondo Beach, you do need to transfer to the K line, which formerly runs on the C line's routes between the LAX Transit Center and Redondo Beach. Again, I'm keeping my microphone on as a voiceover because this part of the station is extremely loud. Harbor Freeway Station is considered a really hostile environment because it's just super noisy. So let's say you're standing right here, for example. You could see it's right in the middle of the 105 freeway. It's actually connected to two freeways between the interchange of the 110 freeway and the 105. Now, they did install these glass panels to reduce the noise, but honestly, they don't really help a lot. It's still quite an unpleasant experience. Again, the C line, the A line, as well as the J line on the freeway portions can definitely be unpleasant and quite a noisy experience because it's next to a polluting car freeway. So this environment is definitely not pleasant, especially for me. My ears are literally hurting from standing here for just a few minutes as I film this. But if you look over here, they still use the original signs from the Green Line. So you can see right here, the signs are original. So there's two ways to get to the platform, but of course the elevator's not working. You can see they're doing work right here, and you can see right here they're going to be doing some service changes right here. So keep that in mind if you take the C line. Get out of here because it's starting to get really noisy and it's really hurting my ears. So I'm gonna head back down to the bus platform. Now guys, we're going back down to the platform. So there's two sides. Right here is for the southbound buses, which takes you to El Monte, and there's the northbound side, which takes you down to San Pedro and the Harbor Gateway Transit Center, which definitely we're going to be going as our final stop for this tour in this video. So now we're going to go to Harbor Gateway Transit Center. This is pretty much the main hub, and before we do, you can see, look around. I mean, there is cool architecture, which is nice. Although, yes, the J-Line platform here, the elevators did try to get some modernization. The age is definitely still showing quite a bit, but it's not too bad. I mean, of course, it's in a bad area, so keep that in mind. So definitely okay during the daytime, but in the nighttime, I would definitely not recommend you be here. Alrighty, so the 910 is pulling out. So this is the Harbor Gateway Transit Center. So make sure, like I said, if you plan to go to San Pedro or any other part in the South Bay, make sure you get on the right one, because if you take the 910, it only stops here, but the 950 continues further to San Pedro. The Harbor Gateway Transit Center is located in Gardena, California, next to the Home Depot, of course. This is next to the freeways 91 as well as the 110. Now, there are express lanes that you take, so it's mostly just for buses or people who have fast tracks, so definitely don't drive there. Now, right here, these are the chargers when Metro uses their electric buses. Recently, they used BYD buses for the J line, which is definitely becoming more common. But today, unfortunately, I did not see them in service today. So, mostly today, I just saw the older buses that I've seen that were originally used for the J line, formerly known as the Silver line, which was opened back in 2009. So, they've been in use for over a decade now. Now, here at this Harbor Gateway Transit Center, metro routes serve here, such as the 205, the 347, as well as other routes that take you down to the South Bay to nearby Torrance, Gardena, as well as other places in the South Bay. Here, you could connect to Torrance Transit, G-Trans, the Dodger Stadium Express, which takes you down to Dodger Stadium during the season of the MLB, which is going to start in a couple of weeks, as well as Long Beach Transit, which serves the LA Galaxy Express. So during the games during the MLS season, just hop on board the Galaxy Express during game day, which takes you down to the Health Sports Park located in Carson, California. On this side, that's the parking lot as well as the area for rideshare to pick up and drop off passengers. This side, if you take this crosswalk right here, this is actually 190th Street, so you can enter and exit the platform, so you can walk along the street. So right here, this is pretty much all where buses connect at this terminus of Harbor Gateway Transit Center. Oh shoot, there it is. Well guys, we finally made it back to El Monte, so that's going to wrap up the video for today. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. It will definitely help my channel a lot. In the next video, I'm going to be covering the K-line, so make sure you subscribe for that. Follow me on my social media platforms. I post there regularly. Anyways guys, take care. Have a great day.